Aldrich Pass! So, third time's the charm apparently. We're in the finals, everybody. We got 30k against the Enjoyers. We're down to the final 4 teams, and only one European team made it. So, with that, we are going into our first map of the best of 5 right now. We got the Enjoyers, and we got 30k over here. And yep, you heard that right. HGC EU LUL, the team around Dino, and of course also Hanzo, did not make it into the final phase of the tournament. So here we are with the Hanzo Genji Cup, HGC 2024, and let's go and kick things off. Obviously, this is a bit of a tough one for the European team. They're going up against a very strong opponent, if not the strongest in the entire bunch. Now again, the little caveat here being that all of these games are taking place on the North American server. This is an NA tournament, was always branded as an NA tournament. We are starting the games to a more NA-friendly time. The games are taking place on North America, which means all the European players have to play cross-server, and that certainly affects things. So, yeah, there's always, like, people... Again, if you want to watch the actual last tournament where we had people in an offline environment without ping problems, you can check out on my YouTube channel the playlist for the Nations Cup. There were playoffs that we hosted in Berlin, and they were absolutely amazing with teams from all over the globe there. We had multiple caster teams. It was great. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should. Outside of that, which is obviously very, very expensive, we can only do it online, and no matter what we do, one region will suffer just simply from ping problems. And the swapperoo from one game to the next is also not really feasible. So yeah, there is still that bit of a caveat. Again, there's a reason why a lot of the NA players don't even bother participating in any of the European tournaments, just because it's too much of a hassle. But, that being said, that doesn't change the fact that 30k is an insane team. You look over onto the lineup and it's just incredible. It's literally a who's who of the NA top scene, and it's awesome to see them play here. Would love to have them in more tournaments, but as we already said, we don't have that many on the North American server these days. Caterpillar starts things off with Diablo as a first pick. We get Blaze on the other side for the Europeans, and Sylvanas locked in by Arion. Still kind of funny to me that Aldrich Pass has just such a high priority for the NA teams in general. I guess in this case, the Enjoyers actually picked it. So yeah, that's also going to be there. But I'm actually pretty curious if maybe the Enjoyers got something here. Now, also to put this right into perspective, we have a losers bracket, meaning if a team loses, they're not out of the tournament automatically. They still have a chance to make that loser bracket run. But when we're looking at this particular pairing, then 30k is definitely the favorite. They only dropped a single map in the playoffs, and they didn't lose like any match. So right now, banning out Varian, by the way, is also catering a little bit to the style that the Enjoyers have been showcasing throughout the previous games that they played. They actually did a lot of those sniper compositions there. We even had a Wind Blades game. We had Twin Blades Varian. I'm not even joking. Can all be found on YouTube, of course, if you haven't seen it yet. But yep, I think it's in the thumbnail. Varian has been played with the meme blades. Vala gets banned with the lineup that they're running here right now. So far, we haven't seen a Nubarak, who has been a very frequent guest on Aldrich Pass for obvious reasons, just trying to go for the objective here. So, let's see. By now, we're having, come on, final ban. They ban at the front. I mean, they could ban a tank, they could ban a noob, for example, if they don't want to deal with that. And they ban Ganarush. So Ganarush gets banned instead. So far, so good. And, well, with that, I still want to see what exactly the front line is now going to be. Do they go for the variation with the Nubarak, trying to dive, trying to maybe sneak in the objective, or are they just going to go for a mainstay tank here? Maybe even Murden, you know, there he is. Murden is in, get Blaze into the mix with the jet propulsion. So Sylvanas, Andon, Blaze, and Murden. And, yeah, well, off we go. So, final pick for the blue team. Again, this is best of 5. We had best of 3 so far all along. Now we're heading into best of 5 territory. And Cure and Madara still... We need damage, essentially. And Cure could obviously still lock in Maiev if he wanted to. He could go for one of his melee assassins. But they're going for the Hanzo Genji combo. So the Hanzo Genji Cup, the finals are starting. The first thing that we're getting is Hanzo Genji. That leaves us with our final pick, and it is Alvaros, ladies and gentlemen. So we get Chromie, and that sets us up for game number 1, Aldrich Pass 30k against the Enjoyers, everyone. 30k on the left with Q on Genji, with Caterpillar on Diablo, Liam on Hogger, Legacy is playing Rega, and we got Madara on Hanzo. Over on the right side of the map, we have the Enjoyers, the European team, the final European team that we still have in the top 4 with Arian on Sylvanas. We got Richu on Blaze, Itrex on Murden, Alvaros is playing Chromie, and Shadowmoon is playing Anduin. I'm definitely ready for this. I am hyped. It's finals time. We are looking at best of 5s now. I should have probably pointed that out during the draft, but let me at least address it real quickly now. We do not have any crazy draft rules for this tournament. So if you're a little bit newer to watching HGC 2024, the Hanzo Genji Cup, then we don't have any special rules where you're not allowed to pick certain heroes, where you can't pick a hero more than once within a series. So this is as vanilla as it gets. So when it comes to best of 5s, that obviously played a role in all of the other tournaments that we've been running in the past couple of years. But here it's just straight up vanilla drafting, vanilla Heroes of the Storm, which is also, of course, why we call this the Hanzo Genji Cup, because you can expect to see Hanzo and Genji essentially in nearly every single series here multiple times. So it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek play on the good old HGC name. I'm actually kind of surprised how many people didn't even get that. So I thought it was very obvious, but apparently, yeah. Some people didn't understand it, but like, oh my god, HGC is back, I can't believe it. I was like, well, is it though? Is it? Is it? Yeah, it isn't. Alrighty, so we already have Hogger going straight up for the camp, already claiming it. Obviously, fantastic position for him. If you have him in your game, then Hogger can essentially take that one very quickly by himself. It's all. Every single hero can basically take a camp by himself. It's just a matter of how quickly can he actually take it. And you don't want to waste any time there. Long story short, Hogger's pretty good at it. So now that both teams have gone for their camp, we still have some roaming squads on the map as they're looking to take some of the boys down. Cure, of course, also coming in and starting to slowly poke around here, still with that Halloween horse that he absolutely loves. In the meantime, in the middle of the map, we're having Liam just bouncing out with a bit of a spin to win over here, so he's already escaping. And Itrex gets attacked and jumps out. Budget Gimli is hopping away here. Normally I would give some of those teams a hard time for their pleb horses, but especially when we're talking about the Europeans, they're playing cross-server. So I'm not quite sure what they have on those accounts. There's no excuse, though, if you are an NA player. Like, there we are a little bit more critical. It's actually kind of funny. I've been talking about Squeal Team 6 and the money picks, and they started to pick them up at the end of the playoffs. And Porky messaged me, and he's like, dude, we're going to do it again. We heard you. We heard you were talking about the money picks. You got a point. We're gonna run more money picks. It's awesome. It's one of the things that I love with the community as is. I mean, obviously it's a lot smaller than it was in the past. But one of the cool things is that you have players listening to the commentary there, and then sometimes, you know, they just jump in and they're like, "You got a point. We'll add some money picks to the equation there." Yeah, we're 3 minutes into this game and we haven't seen a kill yet, so everybody is just waiting. The objective is by now up. Normally we're waiting at least until level 7 before teams are slowly starting to make a move for the prisoner camp and trying to grab that. So off we go. Already Cure starting to move over. Caterpillars up at the top. 30k again. They have been the big favorite for this tournament. Oh, and Hanzo goes down. 30k. The favorite are losing the first hero. Nice combo there with Blaze and Chromie to take down the first target. So Hanzo is gone. Boy gets eliminated. Doesn't change the fact that the blue team locks in an earlier level 7, but only by the smallest of margins. But nice for the European team. Q is trying. Ah, that Stormbolt from Itrex. Ja, mehr gewollt als gekonnt. Wasn't able to connect that. Q dodged towards the bottom. So, yeah, everything's still fine over here. But at least first blood, I mean, that's something. So with Deep Breathing on level 1, we now have Chromie starting to get our stacks together as well, of course. Blaze at the top is getting bullied by Diablo. Diablo, the OG bully, as usual here. So, there we go. And, oof, Anduin gets caught. Okay, so that's a 1v1 on the kill count. We have Genji coming in and taking Anduin down. That's actually, that's a little bit ungrateful. I mean, normally when you're Genji, you really like Anduin because you want that light bomb, right? And it allows you to go into that backline. And now just because Anduin switched teams once, Genji is immediately on his case and is starting to bully him here. I think that shows a lack of gratitude, and that's just the person that Genji is. He's such an opportunist, it's ridiculous. I mean, and I'm not an Anduin fan, as anybody knows. So, yeah. But I think that is just ungrateful. But then again, it's Genji, it's an Overwatch hero, so what did we expect, actually? So, Itrak's already starting to jump in. Oh, another nice little attack over here, careful. Chromie, always good for some more burst damage that he can bring out. And Genji is starting the objective for them. Now again, the red team is the last European team in this tournament. We have, with 30k, Squeal Team 6 and the Anti-Clown Association, 3 and 8 teams remaining. I mean, it's an 8 tournament, so that's what it is. But yeah, the Enjoyers, they're fighting. They're trying to stay in this as long as they can. Playing cross-server is definitely going to increase their ping a little bit, and this is something that 30k is just exploiting right away. Muradin is down, Chromie is down, and 30k locks in the first objective. They're gonna get the cavalry here for the team. They have been the favorites ever since we started the tournament. This lineup is stacked. I mean, these guys are just so damn good, and they're having some fun here too, as you can tell. The top lane wall has already been opened up a bit. Liam is easily jumping out over there with a bit of ping pong, as the teams both lock level 10 abilities in. So now there's the hope to take the first fort out, and 30k is going to be pushing for this. We're having right now a little move being made in the middle, but there's still Genji at the bottom and Hogger at the top. Diablo is still totally fine here. Rhaegar paying attention as well. Legacy this time without Brightwing. Usually he jumps on the fruit fly whenever he sees an opportunity. And now down at the bottom of the map, we got Cure, and he is pinging this one around too. So, let's see. Bit of damage is done on those forts, particularly the top one, and since they are all starting to collapse onto it, this is going to be the end of it. They were thinking about going for Blaze as well, I suppose, but the fort is a bit more important. So, first fort is gone, which means that we're going to see some nulls up at the top lane. Not catapults in this case. And regarding damage, again, we have 4 kills now in total, 3-1. Hanzo died on the left team side. And they go for the boss. And Muradin, I think he's going to catch that. Yeah, Muradin catches, and they just let it go. Alright. They tried to sneak it, they weren't successful, and they just said, okay, you know what, boys, we're just going to let that one slide. Totally okay. No need to rush anything here. We can play this easy peasy, and that's what they're essentially doing. So far, so good. I actually like that decision. A lot of teams would have just tried to fight that out, especially since they're getting closer to level 13, but in this case, they played it cool, calm, collected, just moved back, didn't work out, wasted a bit of time, totally fine. We still can deal with this, so that's how they're dealing with the situation right now. And here comes the next little attack, as they're already trying to go for that big team fight all the way up at the top. Nice ult from Diablo. They're trying to burn him down here, but the bunker saving the day for the time being. They were really hoping to get a quick kill, but nobody loses a single player. The problem is that Hogger wasn't here. He pushed in the middle, so the fort is taking significant damage as Hogger moves down to the bottom of the map and continues his party right there too. Chromie gets caught at the top and killed, so this is really adding insult to injury. Not only the aggression at the top that leads then to the death of Chromie, but the damage here in the middle against the fort, and also what Hogger was able to do at the bottom of the map. All of this, of course, resulting in an even bigger experience lead for 30k, which is now also translated directly into them being able to take out the topside boss, getting a little bit more momentum here. So yes, they are doing an absolute stellar job with this and really putting the pain on. This is getting problematic for the Enjoyers. The Enjoyers are definitely starting to have a bit of an issue with this, because map control is firmly in the hands of their opponents. So yeah, full of map control right now for the team in blue. 13 versus 13 talents, so I suppose that's the good news at least. They don't fall too far behind when it comes to the experience count, but with structures slowly being destroyed, it's an issue. We are not even 10 minutes in though. Caterpillar in a bit of trouble, and Diablo goes down. Diablo eliminated. And the 10-minute info, mainly because I want to highlight that boss is not going to do too much damage at the top lane. Didn't scale enough yet, will still break towards the keep a bit, but shouldn't be able to do too much damage here. A little bit more than I actually thought. We have those gnolls as well, so that's a slight problem. But they are going to be able to defend this after all, so the keep won't be lost, but they should make sure that it doesn't take too much damage at least. That would be a pretty important one. So half a level until 16. We got 4 kills, 2-2 right now. And, well, with that, we now have half a level until the next talent advantage. Down at the bottom of the map, the whole thing continues with boss number 2 now also being claimed. Caterpillar is now going to move through the bottom of the map for the rest of them, and all the way up at the top we are now going for the objective apparently. So, nicely done. Not too bad. Okay, so let's see what we're actually going to get with this. Can they claim that one? I mean, they need to make a couple of moves here. The problem is that they're going up against an opponent that already has a talent over them, so that doesn't make things easier in any way, shape, or form. Another little attack here. Jet propulsion comes out. Caterpillar trying to get away. Turns it around. Wants to go for the barbecue. Aatrox has to pop Avatar to survive. This could be a kill against Anduin. Genji wants it. Hanzo, they're all coming in for him. And they take him down. The Crybaby is gone. Sylvanas gets eliminated too. That's a triple kill as Blaze falls. Liam still gets chased, but with Chromie gone, Murden is the only survivor, and I do not think that he can get the kill. If anything, Aatrox needs to make sure that he gets out of this one too. So another objective is about to get attacked here, and it's a 5-man team wipe. Everybody got annihilated. Madara is, in the meantime, quickly going for the next objective. They're going to lock this one in too. The walls are opened up on quite a few of these keeps as we speak. And now we're looking at 33,000 damage for Sylvanas. So that's already successfully locked in. But again, this doesn't help you a whole lot if you can't get the kills. We got 39,000 for Hanzo, 28,000 for Genji in the meantime. And yep, these boys are doing work. And now with the objective, of course, the whole idea is going to be to try and take some of these keeps out and remove the armor shields from the core. Definitely a mechanic that I think is actually pretty sweet. Arrow missing. Hanzo taking a bit of a risk there. They're 3 levels ahead now as well, so that really helps them. But there's the kill. Legacy a bit too late on the Ancestral. So didn't hit that in time, and that means that Genji is gone, and this takes the sting out of that push pretty significantly. So yeah, bit of a problem now for them. Still should be able to do some damage here, but probably not nearly as much as they were hoping. With Hogga pushing at the top, I think we are still guaranteed to see at least one keep fall, unless of course more players are now dying on the side of 30k. They try to take Diablo out, barbecue, and it's not going to be enough. Dibbles is gone, Diablo gets eliminated, but the counter kill against Anduin as the Enjoyers lose their healer. Oh, and the cavalry is currently taking out those keeps. Rhaegar falls, so there are counter kills at least, but now Sylvanas is starting to drop low. She's still trying to escape. The top keep has already fallen. The one at the bottom of the map will probably be eliminated in just a moment. So lots and lots of damage is being done here. First armor shield is removed, second one will fall. Might even be able to remove the third as well. No matter how this ends, even with the kills that are coming together for the Enjoyers, they are losing way too much ground. 2 armor shields are removed now. They could still do a bit more damage in the middle if they wanted to. We have nearly level 20 on the board for 30k. So it is looking very, very grim for the European team in game number 1 of the best of 5 series. Kyo is sitting at the top, wants to go for the boss. Boss is respawning, and by now we're 13, 14 minutes in, so this bad boy is going to hit a lot harder. And Liam makes his own move straight up for the camp. Yeah, the red team is pinned down. Great for 30k. They're doing a stellar job on this one. They have level 20 now, so all the trump cards in their hands at this point. We have them with a living weapon, with Hellgate. We get the Farseer's Blessing and also Bullseye. And the red team is trying to steal the boss away up at the top. So at least a pretty sneaky little move from them that should work out nicely. Or does it? Because Diablo is there, wants to burn them down, and they might just lose it. They had to go for something, but Anduin is dead again. He's just dying time and time again. He's not the only one. Sylvanas is gone. At least they counter-killed Rhaegar, but the boss is still taken by 30k. The level 20 talents are just too much for them to handle. Another 5-man team wipe. And this is going to be the lead in the best of 5 series for the American team. Very well done. Nicely played. I mean, there was not really anything left for the Europeans. They had to make that move. They had to go for it. There was no other choice. So they went straight in. But obviously, it was a bit of a Hail Mary that they were throwing there, hoping that they could somehow make a move on this. And instead, they're getting wiped. Would have been a bit different if they can maybe claim the boss and win the team fight. But as things stand right now, the situation is, of course, yeah, pretty good. Game 1's over. Nicely done. Well played. The lead for 30k in the best of 5. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Garden of Terror, map number 2. So, before we're heading into our second map, also a quick PSA for everybody that watches this on YouTube. If you guys have been watching game number 1 and you've been like, hey, is there a little bit of a desync happening between the game sound and what happens on screen, the visuals? That is still the case. We had the problem in some of the previous weeks. I solved it at some point by completely reinstalling heroes, but the problem came back. But as I already explained a bit previously, I'm just going to do it now for the finals again. I currently have a new PC in the mail. I'm getting a new high-tech PC. It's already in the mail. I'm going to get it in 2 weeks' time at the latest, probably sooner than that. Depends a little bit on the Spanish postal service, but it's supposed to arrive next week, and that will solve the issue for good. So just as a bit of a PSA of an FYI for the people pointing that out, the solution is on the horizon. Not quite sure what happened. Doesn't really matter. This PC is still going to be used for video editing, which I need it for, but the new PC is going to be my streaming PC from there on out. So yeah, problem solved. Apparently they're just banning Varian. That seems to be the game plan here for the series. And I have to come back to what I said in game number 1. We do not have any special draft rules. So there's nothing crazy happening here in regards to draft rules. That's also why you're going to see a lot of the heroes that were already played either played again or maybe addressed during the bans. 30k obviously doing very, very well in the last game and just absolutely murdering there. So great job by them taking the lead. And I like the Hail Mary attempt by the red team at the boss because it was the only thing that they could do. The hope there being that you win the team fight, you take the boss, and then you gain a little bit of momentum. It's still doubtful that that would have changed enough, but it would have maybe given them some momentum to take some of the structures out. And to be fair to the Enjoyers, we have seen the Enjoyers getting beaten around for like an entire game multiple times, and then towards the end they make one real good decision and all of a sudden they're winning the game. So we have seen them turn games around and more than one. So you should never really count them out. They kind of thrive on chaos a bit, but the situation they found themselves in at the time was still a bit rough. Now with Garden of Terror we have Diablo again as our first pick for Caterpillar for 30k. Blaze and Johanna this time quickly being picked for their opponents. So that's already a very strong front line that we're now getting from the Enjoyers. But yeah, they are up against the top dog right now. That's obviously the advantage when you are doing really, really well in the playoffs, in the round robin. Your seeding is just much better. So we have the number 1 team against the number 4 team right now. And that just means that in the case of the Europeans, they have to go up against the best team out of the round robin, out of the playoffs. And that is 30k. So if you are able to do a little bit better in the round robin and you place higher up, you get an easier opponent for the first round, which makes it a bit more likely for you to progress through the winner's bracket and not having to go down that loser bracket path that everybody would like to avoid. Genji gets banned. By the way, the draft that we're getting from 30k is exactly the same so far than what we've seen in the previous one. Genji gets banned out, so apparently the Europeans, they just hate Overwatch heroes. They banned 3 of them, Lucio, Junkrat, and Genji. All got the axe on this one. Which I absolutely endorse, by the way. This is totally fine. And in the meantime, we're now having a double pick for the red team. With Genji banned, there needs to at least be a slight adjustment for 30k, and I'm still putting Maiev on the board for them, because this could be a potential pick. They have shown her a lot with Cure. They could also play a Zeratul if they want to go for maybe even some APOC, VP combo if they're looking for some wombos. White main as a support, and we get Grey main for damage. That will definitely threaten also Diablo with bullets, with Alpha Wolf later. So he is going to try and apply some additional pressure onto Caterpillar and try to take him out. If that's going to be successful or not, that's a very different question. But now for 30k, the final 2 picks. And the question, of course, what is Cure going to take? Madara could still go for Hanzo. Kerrigan for Cure, and Madara goes straight up for Chromie. So it is Chromestar time over here. And with that, we're getting Alvaros as the final pick in this one. A bit more damage is also needed on their end. No globals, by the way. No Dehaka, no fall stats so far. Unless Alvaros is now going to pick it. So nobody's trying to play too macro heavy. But with God of Terror, our second map in the best of 5, there's the birdie. We get fall stat. God of Terror, everybody. Map number 2. We have 30k going up against the Enjoyers. Game number 2! 30k is in the lead, and they're trying to extend it on Garden of Terror with Cure on Kerrigan. Over on the blue team side, we have Legacy on Rega, Liam on Hogger, Caterpillar on Diablo, and Madara is playing Chromie. I like Madara on Chromie. It's one of his go-tos. He loves to play his mages. He likes to play Hanzo as well. But now they have so much CC, and Chromie can follow up with the burst damage. As over on the right side, the Enjoyers, they're playing Arian on Greymane, Atrax on Diablo. We got Richu on Blaze, Shadow Moon on White Main, and Alvaros on Falstad. So, let's get this show on the road and see if 30k lock in a quick 2-0. Or if the Enjoyers are able to bring it back right now. All the way up at the top, we have Richu just trying to poke off against the tower a little bit. And then down at the bottom of the map, there's Jojo just burning this down, helping out Greymane a little bit. In the middle of the map, the blue team starting to push. But White Main already pushing them back together with Falstad. So, game number 2. Obviously, the first one didn't really go all that well for the Europeans. Enjoyers, they definitely struggled and had a tough time. But now the opportunity to maybe bring it back here. It's tough against this opponent, on the other hand. It is really, really tough. I mean, they're going up against an absolute fantastic team. And 30k is the top team in NA. And always have been, to be honest. I mean, if you think back over the last couple of years, there was not a single team that was able to really force them back or anything. So, yeah, that's just what it is. But Hogger just ping-ponging around down here and doing his thing. In the meantime, we're having more camps taken. This is generally the rule that we're talking about when it comes to God of Terror. You have to try and get mercenary control. It really helps you to dominate the map and gain a little bit of momentum. So they're going to start to do as much of that as possible, get those camps, get Greymane into a good position for that, for example. On the other side, it's going to be Hogger. It's actually one of the reasons why Hogger gets banned a lot on this map too, because players are fully aware that he is a monster on these camps and can take them all very quickly in solo. So he is oftentimes a very, very early ban on God of Terror. But the push is happening at the top, thanks to the camp that they have here. And the Aura. Falstad is at the bottom of the map against Hogger, but all the way up at the top, some of the towers are starting to take a bit of a beating. So, yep, too bad. Down at the bottom of the map in the meantime, Kerrigan is starting, or at least thought about starting to go for the birdie, but is now eyeing Greymane in the mid lane a bit more. Yeah, Cure wants it, and Atrax is now coming in. Alright, so Cure is realizing he won't be able to do a whole lot here, especially since he didn't have anybody to assist him with it either. So that obviously doesn't help the cause. Down at the bottom of the map, our 1 versus 1 still continues, with Alvaros doing what he can. We had some crazy Falstad plays over the course of the playoffs, specifically, of course, when it came to Gust and Wind Tunnel plays. A lot of aggressive moves being done by Falstad players, trying to find the proper angle to just push the opponent out very easily and quickly. And this is something that a lot of them are still going to try and follow up on as well, I suppose at least. So, yeah, we'll see how much they can do with this. Right now, at the bottom, I mean, it is a little bit of a tamer start into the game. It's 3 minutes in, we haven't seen a kill yet. We are, of course, talking seeds, but the first one has been claimed without being contested too heavily. So 30k has looked forward to the first objective and has made their move there. And then, in the meantime, we're now looking at Falstad rotating towards the top lane to help out Blaze a little bit and see if they can do more structural damage there. So, more of a macro approach now, at least in the early game by the European team. Maybe an adjustment also to ping. Still have to be careful here. Next seed is spawning. And of course, eventually you need to face the music here, right? You can't just simply let those slide. You have to make some plays. And you have to start going straight up for some of those seeds if you want to have a chance there. So this is something that they slowly need to start and do. In the meantime, we have all the way up at the top, Uchu still forcing Cure back a little bit, but the seed is now spawning, and it is this time straight up in the middle. So this is something that the red team should probably fight for, or at least delay a little bit further. We have not a single kill yet. Hogga is getting ready for the next camp, as it seems. Yep, siege camp is spawning in 6, so he wants to put that onto the lane as quickly as he can. Nobody's going for the seed immediately. They all know that this time interrupts would happen for sure. And both teams have a fair arsenal of heroes that they can use to interrupt. Bit of pressure against Caterpillar here in the middle. Rega is jumping in again. Yeah, and they're also doing the same thing. They're just making a play for their cards. So far, when it comes to the game, it has honestly just been teams going time and time again for their mercenaries. Claim the mercenaries, get a bit of lane control, trying instead of push up onto a lane and then rotate heroes over and very quickly attempt to get some hits in there. And this is exactly what they've been doing. So, yeah, this is the name of the game right now. Nobody wants to make a mistake and fall too far behind, so they're just doing whatever they can in this situation. But of course, with Cure playing Carrigan, this is a very aggressive combo for the blue team. And they will be looking for those hits, specifically with level 10 now. And thanks to their earlier rotational play, we have them at a half-level lead. So that allows them to grab those level 10 abilities early. I want to go for a kill against Blaze, as it seems. And Hogga is very interested in stealing a camp away. Gets found out, but there's little that can be done about it if you don't have heroics. And that is also the demise of Blaze. So Blaze goes down. He's quickly killed. And yes, that's a camp. So, not only is the seed going to be taken, Blaze is gone, a camp is stolen. They're at least able to repay them in kind at the bottom of the map as they're taking this. Could even take down the gate here and the towers. With Greymane going into Worgen form, this should happen pretty quickly. They need to be careful with Cure though, especially since they don't have too much. Well, they got vision through the camp. Yeah, but the rotation is now coming. Cure misses the combo, but the Blessed Shield is also whiffed. Yeah. Blessed Shield by Johanna doesn't connect. They were trying to turn it on Cure on Carrigan, and that means we still have only a single kill, and that was the one against Blaze. Hogga at the top with the help of the camp has now also applied additional pressure onto the fort, starting to take this one out too. And down to the bottom of the map, Alvarus is sitting totally tight here. Legacy, Caterpillar, oh Madara, careful. He eats at least some damage. But here's now the tricky spot that they're being in, because you have 2 seeds against 0 against you. So the red team needs to win this one. The seed is a bit better for them, but if they're losing Jojo, for example, and it seems like they might, then they're going to be in real trouble. Shadow Moon comes in with Whitemane and saves the day. Greymane is gone, but at least Carrigan gets counter-killed. So it's a kill for a kill here. Falstad was able to get it. Fight all happening down here at the bottom as the rest of the team was forcing the battle in the middle. So, yep, 2 kills to 1. And still the attempt by the red team to get their first seed. Which is essentially going to happen here. So when it comes to the first seed, they are going to be able to claim this one. Which is kind of important. So, yeah, so far so good. Now, we still have Itrax sitting tight there in the middle. Caterpillar gets attacked again. Starting to make their next move for him. Okay. Blessed Shield even being used. Damn, they really wanted to go for Diablo. That was a bit of wishful thinking, to be honest. They didn't have the damage there, not without Greymane. So trying to force this was a little bit strange. Rega rotated over very quickly too. Oh, Madara though. No way. Does he get out? Nah, he doesn't. But he gets a kill. They go and get the counter kill on Greymane. So Chromie and Greymane both just explode here. Very easy hits, and then down at the bottom of the map. Another quick attack by Caterpillar as they're trying to go for a white main. And immediately the ult gets popped by her. But they might still get a kill. They're trying to go for Jojo. Iron Skin is up. It's a little bit of a scrappy one in some of these team fights, honestly. So they are still doing work here. 3 kills to 2. Kill count is now fairly even. But, well, that's gonna change once that Blaze is eliminated and he gets murdered. So Blaze is gone, he's down, and that also will take the fort out, I guess. Actually, no. Not quite. I'm not able to take that fort out. Greymane came in and helped. So they were able to stay this. Chrysalis by Cure. Rhaegar is here. Uses the Ancestral. Kerrigan, can she get out? Diablo wants to at least take the camp. Can do it. And Kerrigan is gone. Yeah, look at Caterpillar over here. Prioritizing the Siege Giant over Cure's life. Oh, and then he turns it around with a quick wall stun against Whitemane that just absolutely obliterates her. So a level lead for 30k. They are looking incredibly strong here. Really, really well done once again. Again, they are clearly the team to beat in this tournament. I mean, clearly. They're doing such a fantastic job. And the Europeans, they are trying, but the NA team is currently just too powerful. They're hitting all the bases. They have the pressure at the top, down at the bottom of the map. Another fort is about to fall. The one in the middle gets destroyed. And now the fight here doesn't go the way of the Enjoyers either. A good shockwave from Horga stops Blaze from escaping. So he gets murdered. And this is now a push for the keep walls at least, and we're 10 minutes in. And also on top of that, we have level 16 talents available now. So it's another talent advantage for the blue team. They are able to pull heavily ahead here. And it's also visual in the damage numbers. Top damage might be Greymane, but if you're looking at the damage overall, Chromie now with 21,000, Diablo on 20k. 15,000 for Kerrigan, 6 kills to 3, and still a 1 level gap that has to somehow be bridged by the boys in red. Cure anchoring the play of Hogger, making sure that there's nothing that can happen with Alvaro's moving in. They're taking the camp quickly together. Only a single seed on the side of the Europeans, by the way. If they already had 2, then maybe they could threaten the objective a bit more effectively and could make that more of a threat. Kerrigan, talking about threats, at the top might actually get killed here. Cure is all alone and they want him. They're going full 5-man on Cure. They're just like, alright, we might lose the game, but we don't care. As long as we at least get a few of them destroyed, that's totally fine. So Cure is wasting as much of their time as he possibly can to allow for the push at the bottom of the map. But he still gets murdered. So nice little play by them. And that honestly was pretty sweet. That was a good one. That's exactly what they needed to do here. And it helps now. Yeah. Again, 6 kills to 4. They took Cure out. They won't be able to do too much as a result. It's another 25 seconds until Kerrigan is back. Blue team did a bit of damage down at the bottom of the map, of course. But it's 16 versus 16 talents now as we're fighting for the next seed. And the Enjoyers are fully aware that one of the tickets back into the game is through the seeds, through the objective, trying to get those Garden Terrors and make a play with them. So that is going to be the opportunity to maybe make a little move to bring this game back. Chromie already locks in her level 20. 29 stacks, by the way, on her level 1. Went into once again the first time, so no Dragon's Breath built from her. Yeah, and the seed is spawning. I mean, it's going to be an important one. It's 1.5 levels for the blue team to hit 20. So still going to be fine here, but it seems like the Europeans might let this one go. Not so sure on this yet. So we'll see. Alright, either way. Right now what we're getting is the first seed, yep, in this rotation for 30k. So that means they got 4 seeds in total now against the one that we have for the Enjoyers. And what's a little bit more concerning is that it seems like 30k is then also going to walk away with the next one, simply because they're going to have level 20 very likely around that time. So the Enjoyers made the choice that what they are trying to do is get to level 20, and then once that they hit 20, then really go for the team fight. So this seems to be the game they want to play now. Soak those 2 levels somehow, get to 20, and then make your move. if they get it in time, that might work, but it is also quite the statement. They're just not willing to fight beforehand. Doesn't seem like they're going to be willing to fight for the seat at the top because it's only half a level until the blue team... oh, well, unless they get a kill, of course. They're trying to disengage here. As they're realizing, okay, there are a few more heroes around than we maybe expected. But yeah, this seat is going to be taken. It's too close to level 20. There's just no way that they're going to engage into this when Storm Talons are around the corner for their opponents. The only way you would do that is if you are able to get a kill previously. Cure, by the way, gets spanked a little bit in this game, doesn't he? Gets slapped around hard. 3 kills already on him. Carrigan not really having a huge impact here. Now we got a few Bolt of the Storms. And they are pushing for the top. So 30k is taking advantage of Storm Talons by starting to push in and just say like, you know what guys? We are not going to play your game. We are going to threaten your first keep. So if you want to do something here, then at least try and come in and defend. Blaze is in the middle looking for experience, and Falsat is doing the same thing down at the bottom of the map, so they really want these minion waves and get themselves quickly to 20. But here's the problem, the siege is spawning in 27 seconds, the keep at the top is also falling, so they're kind of nice trap there. And now Jojo is also dead, so this keep is essentially gone. Keep is gone, and we could get another set of Garden Terrors now for 30k. Well, not could get, I would be shocked if we didn't. Because Jojo is down for 50 seconds. And the seed is spawning in 5. So, yeah. That one seems pretty inevitable. Hogger is the one moving in for it. We have another camp taken. For defense, they're going to have at least level 20 talents. But it is a very similar situation, I want to say, to what we experienced in game number 1. They're just really struggling. The whole map is under control of 30k. They established a leading experience early. And then they played around it. So now they're making their big moves here for this one. And again, things are looking very, very good from their perspective. So, how much further can they go here? Can they already take a few additional keeps out? Can the red team now try and defend? Depends. Jojo's back. He's back right now. But the gate in the middle has already been destroyed, so vision is there. 15 stacks for the Wizened Duelist for Greymane. Blessed Shield. And nice timeout. But there's the fly, and there's the tunnel. This is exactly what they did previously. Great Ancestral. The double heal connecting beautifully for them in that tight spot. Whitemane is gone. Itrax falls again. That's the end of Jojo. Carrigan Cure is just getting murdered today, but it doesn't matter anymore because Greymane has now also fallen. It's 10 kills to 5. And of course the big push is still coming. Those Garden Terrors are making their moves for the middle, for the bottom of the map. Even at the top they're pushing for the core directly. This looks very much like it's a 2-0 lead right here, right now for 30k. Keep in the middle gone. Garden Terror on the core. Shield is slowly falling. And this is all she wrote in game number 2 of this best of 5. Nicely done. 30k with some big plays in the first series in the winner bracket semi-final. And that is a 2-0 lead now for the blue team. Nicely done, well played, and congratulations. Match point, game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. 30k against the Enjoyers. So, we have match point for the blue team. The favorite in the tournament is performing well, not only in the playoffs where we had the round robin, but now also in the finals. Yeah, for the Enjoyers, this is making things a bit difficult. Now again, there is a loser's bracket. If they lose here, they will drop down into the loser's bracket and have another chance to make a loser bracket run. But currently, Right Wing gets banned out. And let's see what we're getting from the... Is Varian getting banned again, for example? I mean, now we're heading into Towers of Doom, but the MO so far was just always ban Varian and, yeah, just deny them some of their picks. In this case, though, we have Lucio that gets the axe. So Lucio gets banned out. They're both targeting supports here. Brightwing is something that I said already earlier. Legacy really loves to play, so he's been falling back on Rhaegar. Here comes Junkrat as they're taking that out. Obviously now we have a bit of a switch when it comes to who has first pick for all of this. Towers of Doom is there for the map choice of 30k, so they want to have another big map. the Haka, Falstad, all good picks here if we're talking about globes, if we're talking about the top lane. Yeah, and they are actually banning Diablo, so now that they don't have first pick, they are a bit afraid that the Enjoyers might pick Diablo for themselves, and they're totally fine with Caterpillar picking something different. So they're banning Diablo out, which also means that Varian is still up, so you could theoretically start to go for your Varian play. I mean, I don't think that he's worthy of a first pick here, but it's definitely a hero to consider now, since they played him also a lot in the round robin. But our first pick is Blaze. You go for that solo lane again. Blaze is taken. Now 30k could respond with plenty. They could go for Urel. They could go for Dehaka at the top lane. Those are probably your biggest heroes to choose here from. Leo, I guess. So you could go for Leoric too. Plenty of top laners around. Are they going straight in for a tank? Pick something for Caterpillar. First we get Sylvanas. And there's Johanna. So yes, Caterpillar is picking his hero too. And here comes Varian. So now that Varian is not banned out, they immediately said, okay guys, let's go. Varian, and they need then burst damage. So Chromie, Jaina, they come to mind. As a support, Stukov, Malfurion, I guess they got Kayn, would also be alright. You could go for the father-son dream team, I suppose, with Varian and Anduin. But it's kind of clear now what they want to do here. We get the birdie again for these gust plays and the angles that they're trying to hit, and also for some global pressure that will allow them to apply more damage up at the top. So if Falstad starts flying there, then Blaze gets a bit of an assist, and he will skew the balance in the solo lane a little bit. It's a little bit similar to what you are getting with Abathar, I suppose, or if you have Genji on the other hand, since you can just simply traverse the lanes very quickly. But yeah, the birdie can also then help later on with some gusts and some zone control. Stukov gets banned. Again, he and Malfurion are probably your best choices when you're trying to get some follow-up on Varian's taunt. And yes, we are going to get taunt here. I know. We got meme blades once in the round robin. But again, they're not going twin blades when Varian is your main tank. So unless they're all of a sudden locking in another frontliner, this isn't happening. And I think they want to have a chance to start a comeback here and win the game. So another reason why you don't want to go for the meme blades. They're kind of entertaining, but yeah. Zeratul gets banned, so they're not trying to deal with Cure. I'm still waiting for the Maiev pick. Urel is in. There's Anduin. Anduin is actually really annoying when he gets played against Varian, because every single time Varian launches another taunt, Anduin can simply come in and zip the target out. Now there is a cooldown battle that you're obviously going to win, but still. Malfurion, again, called it. Not that it was really difficult. You want to have stun follow-up. There's other supports, of course, that fit the build too, but your go-tos would be Stukov and Malfurion. They're going for Li Ming for the burst damage. So no Chromie play, no Jaina play, Li Ming trying to burst and reset, and then we get Cure as the final choice. If they wanted to go for another aggressive melee, Maiev again comes to mind. They played Karrigan already in game number 2. Didn't really go too well for Cure, but the team obviously played very well around it and was able to take it. Now that we're heading into Chaos of Doom, our final pick is Genji. Genji's in, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into match point number 1 for 30k. 30k with a 2-0 lead against the Enjoyers, ladies and gentlemen. And now over on the left side, we get Cure on Genji. Second time, actually. So, Cure's in the house. We get Liam on Urel, Mother on Sylvanas, Caterpillar is playing Jojo, and Legacy is currently rocking Anduin on this one. Whereas over on the right side, trying to bring this back, we have Shadow Moon on Malfurion, Arian on Falstad. We're getting Itrax playing Varian, Alvaros on Li Ming. And then on top of that, Blaze is being played by Richu. They gotta step it up. They gotta start their comeback right here if they want to have a chance. It's gonna be difficult to say the least. Not an easy one for them to try and turn this around. Let's see if they actually can pull something off. Nice little push at the bottom of the map. This is obviously one of the sneaky ones every single time that you can. You're trying to move in with Sylvanas, take one of the towers out, which they were successful in doing. And yeah, the opponent just reacted a little bit too delayed here. So, unfortunate. But, well, what else are we now getting? We have first and foremost the push in the middle that nearly cost Itrax's life, so Varian gets nearly destroyed here. And Madara, with the rotational play that we're seeing from him, is actually doing a lot of good work here. They've got a tower at the bottom of the map, then they apply pressure in the middle. Anduin with a quick pull as Caterpillar starts to be in danger, making sure that he survives. So another decent save right there. Job well done. And now, of course, with the first pumpkin camps being up, the teams are starting to make a play for those. And it seems like everybody is more or less willing to commit here. Anduin as bait, that's the only thing that he's good for in the first place, but, well, they baited well. So, Anduin goes down, but so did Falstad. They don't have a support anymore, though. And here comes the camp, claimed by 30k. That helps. Leeming is gone. They want another kill. They go for Varian. And 30k with all the pressure in the world, turning it on the blaze, take out Richu, and that is 3 kills to 1. Yeah, well done. So 30k with a fantastic opening into game number 3. They want to go quickly into the next, well, into the next round, into the winner bracket final. But these guys are absolutely killing it right now. I mean, they're really crushing it here. So respect. Big plays being made by them, and yeah, it's going to be more than a little bit tricky, isn't it? Because essentially now you're level behind if you are the red team. You already are in trouble simply because your opponent, I don't want to say toyed with you earlier, but they have taken a 2-0 lead, which is obviously pretty rough. So I'm not quite sure how much they can actually do with this. This is going to get real difficult. Right now we have with the lead in experience, with the lead in the series, the red team basically on the ropes, and with a bit of map control that was also claimed by 30k. Yeah, looking good in this one. Triple altar phase is coming up. They are sniffing that out. They want it. And here comes Urel, and they're stealing the pumpkins away. Genji survives too, and boy, oh boy, nothing is really going the Enjoyers' way right now. They're just losing ground wherever they're being faced with the opponent's team. So it is a tough one. Really, really tough one. Triple altar phase is now up. First altar already channeled, so it seems like we're gonna get a 2 out of the 3 for... Well, are they actually trying to go for all of them? Now it's gonna be an interrupt against Cure, but Urella is dealing with Blaze at the same time. They could just simply go for a slide. Maybe 30k wants to go for revenge. They all know that, I mean, you can only go 40-0 if you have an 8 team in the series, but maybe they're trying to turn it around, you know? Turn it in the Europeans. Fair chance of that happening, though. They get 4 shots. Sylvanas is still pushing at the bottom of the map, now that Leeming is coming in to try and take her out. But, yeah. Still totally fine here. So, they're just easily moving away. The shots get fired. This is the 2 altars for the team in blue, as already expected. But still, pretty nicely done from them. My personal question is more so what's going to happen once that we hit level 10 abilities. I mean, this is always an insane comeback map, so you should never count anybody out here. But with the aggression that we're seeing from 30k, it's quite clear that they're trying to take control of the game very early on. And this is exactly what's happening right now. So, how much further with that can they actually go here? And the push is happening. In the middle, they're also trying to go for another quick hit. So in this case, they're trying to make a move for Liam. So far, hasn't really guaranteed them anything. But it's an entire level lead. This is actually still amazing to me. 30k is playing these games so absolutely tight. It's really a lot of fun watching them just pull ahead of opponents because they're doing just a much better job controlling the flow of the game here. Now, with this said and done, there's a few more camps up, so they're now going to try and make a move for those. So, let's see if they can. Yep. This finally we have a camp going over to the red team. So if you look at the mercenary experience, there's quite the difference there. Top side, seems like Liam might not get attacked again. Level 4 obviously has already kicked in a long time ago for Varian, so he can definitely taunt people now. We've seen it once, but the problem still is that you have Andon on the other side, and he is going to ruin those plays. And now that Q has started to go for the birdie, because he's hungry for some chicken, They're getting another kill, so that's level 10 already in their hands, and this is making things insanely difficult. Yep, there it is. Blessed Shield into Wailing Arrow, and it marks the end of Li Ming. Light Bomb engage from Genji. They go for the traditional combo and eliminate not only Malfurion, but also Varian. So essentially, everybody here is being taken out. That replay, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with that game, so we're going straight back into this one. My bad, wrong button. But the shots are now fired, and the bell towers are now being taken. So, whew, 7 kills to 1. Yeah, not looking too good for the Enjoyers. They still have half a level until level 10 finally hits. Another 5 shots get fired, and that is 36 against 23 points. So, tough. Very, very tough situation for them. And, I mean, I guess they can take back that bell tower at least, but it's still going to be absolutely brutal if this continues at pace. They have to somehow try and bring this back, and I honestly don't envy them in the slightest, because it's going to be really difficult. The blue team has done a fantastic job controlling the flow of the game. And one of the things that I actually really like in the way that they're playing it is the aggression that we're seeing from 30k, because again, think about for a moment what kind of situation they are in right now. They are currently in a 2-0 lead. They know they have at least 3, well, they have 3 match points at a maximum. So them being aggressive here and taking a couple of risks makes perfect sense. Worst case scenario for them essentially is that they're losing a game, but if they are from the beginning taking some chances by invading camps and attempting to force these fights, if things go well, then they're really pinning the opponent down and they're applying more pressure. And this is difficult to deal with in the best of situations. Level 13 as a talent advantage is soon now kicking in for the blue team. Double altar is up in a moment, but they still have the bell tower controller in the middle. But at least Sylvanas goes down, so there's the kill. Li Ming gets a kill in the reset. Maybe that's a chance for them. Urel still trying to make sure that they're at least maintaining that bell tower for a bit longer. Altars activate in 10. I think the red team is rotating over and at least takes that, right? So, yeah. Camp is claimed. 13 is on the board. That gives us now also the blessed hammer. Yeah, Urel still controls that mid lane bell tower. Good for her. Is that going to be enough though? Next little attack is coming in. Light bomb engage. Malfurion is the target. And X-Strike. But he is able to get out. Well, no, not. Unlucky. Nice kill. Well done by Cure. So they get the kill. They want another one. Double jump onto Falstad, and he is dead too. They're going for Varian. He gets murdered. And now the attempt at a triple kill. But yep, the shots are fired, at least a few. Li Ming got one of the channels, and that's the end of Blaze. And well, it all started with that little play right here. So initially with the X-Strike, he wasn't able to get the kill. Gus then pushes him back out, and Malfurion gets still killed by Cure. That led to those kills, to that wipe essentially. Another bell tower taken, and Genji falls to the bell tower. Genji dies to the bell tower right here. He was still able to fire a few shots. But that's actually kind of funny. Now they get the bell tower. I guess it's worth it. But Cure over staying there for just a moment. It's such a Genji play to get destroyed by a fort. Or by a bell tower. So now we have level 15 to level 13. It's a 2-level advantage for 30k. 32 to 19 points on the core. They pulled heavily ahead in this game. And yeah. They are going to try it. Oh, well, actually at the top, they're trying to get a kill on Urel. Ult is out. They have the cooldown. Gets hit once more and is able to jump away. Running a little bit low here, but is still going to be fine. Yeah, Sylvanas is showing. Cure comes in. Oh, gets only Li Ming. Wanted to go for the big connect and went way too deep. So Cure baited and killed. Gets baited hard and absolutely murdered. And this is the moment where the Enjoyers are just saying, okay guys, we gotta do something. So we might as well start making a move for the boss and trying to remove it as a tool for the opponent. Get those 4 shots fired and start to close the gap a bit. But they are behind by a talent again, and it's level 16 talent, so that power spike is massive, specifically for Andon, of course. Him having Glyph of Faith now is ridiculous. It is going to make him so much more powerful in these fights. It's going to be murderously tough. So, yeah. But then again, either way, we're now looking at a 2-level advantage, 2.5 levels even. Still the 5 versus 3 bell tower control for the blue team. And a single altar on the map now. So, single altar right there. And let's see how far they can go. Can they actually grab this one? Jet propulsion. Yeah, but we also got the light bomb engaged again. They're actually shutting that down very nicely. Those gusts are on point. The problem is that Varian still gets killed. So all of these sniper combo attempts that we're seeing from the Enjoyers are not working for them. They're losing Varian, they lose Falstad a moment later. So just too many heroes that get absolutely destroyed here and don't stand a chance. A little bit unfortunate for them, I suppose. And it's another 5 shots that are going to get fired. So, yeah, shots are in. 5 shots fired, that puts them down to 10 points on the core now. And they are going to fall into the single digits very, very soon. So yeah, times are tough for the Enjoyers. They, again, took 4th seed in the round robin, so they are going up against the number 1 in the round robin. They got the toughest opponent in the first round, and you can clearly tell because 30k is taking no prisoners in the series. 30k is just absolutely crushing things. Really performing. 13 kills to 4. And, yep, Sylvanas is still trying to take another... I mean, they're taking camps whenever they can. So another camp claimed at the top. Starting to move straight in for this one. Obviously, the idea being, hey, let's apply additional pressure to the next bell tower. See if we can get an even bigger lead on this. And, well, if they can take more bell tower control, then even better. Light bomb engage into the back very quickly. Twilight Dream from Malfurion. Trying to shut them down here. So far without success. But the top bell tower has now been claimed. So it's 7 bell towers to 1. They take all of them. The barrage has started, ladies and gentlemen. They're going for the full barrage. They are trying to end it here. And I think they might just be able to. Only 9 shots left. And this looks like it's going to be game. How do you take this back? They're trying to reclaim the bell tower. But now Varian is gone. There's only 7 points on the core. It's a triple altar phase coming up. They can just fall back and channel a single one and it would end the game here. Absolutely disastrous. 30k is in such great shape. Shot after shot gets fired with a full control. And we're now down to 4 points on the core thanks to the last shot. Genji is gone, but there's no way retaking this anymore. Maybe they can... Nah, they can't even retake the bottom bell tower. Even if they could, they just need to channel 1 altar. That's game. A 3-0 victory for 30k. Nicely done. Well played. A deserved victory for the top team in the tournament here as they claim the win and go to the winner bracket final. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.